It's Friday. It doesn't feel as though we're under the gun again, but yet indeed some of Kentucky and mainly to our northeast, but we're not out of the threat area by any means in regards to the potential of some accumulating snowfall. Some heavy, wet snow. Heavy precipitation is expected in one form or another, or both. It's going to be a good bet for some of us. Mainly tomorrow, it's going to move in from the southwest late tonight, early Saturday, mainly in the form of rain over the Cumberland drainage basin with a transition to snow northeast of there, depending on the location. Wet snow accumulations or minor flooding will be the issues. For some, a little bit of both. We are following this closely, and we are, speaking of the viewing area, right along that line as we often find ourselves into the transition and what's going to happen. I'll pinpoint it as best I can in just a few moments. It's hard to think about that as nice and as sunny as it's been, but we do have another winter threat on our horizon, and we've got more of a wet forecast than one that is dry. We do have some improving temperatures, but they're a little slow to get here. Nevertheless, I'll have an update on your weather front in just a few moments. All I can tell you at this time in regards to the first report, our only regional report tonight, is that there are two people who have been confirmed dead as a result of a shooting, another injured as a result of the same shooting, we believe, near the Martin and Pike County line. Two bodies were discovered right after 1 o'clock this afternoon in a road on an abandoned strip mine job somewhere off Kentucky Route 292. The state police are investigating. They're on scene. They are also releasing very little information. The initial reports that we have no update to since say that they had no suspects in the case. As far as the shooter, it was not revealed, nor do we know if the shooter was one of those three involved, the two deceased or the one injured, or had fled the scene. That's still yet to be released at this hour. One person I do know has been confirmed to have been taken to an area hospital for injuries related to the shooting. And that's all I have at this hour. There is a good chance that we'll have an update for you before I leave you in just a few moments. I've got a lot on local headlines tonight. A structure fire that destroyed a woman's home. She was able to save one of her pets, and actually the cause of the fire, not necessarily partly to blame on her other pets, but I'll explain in just a few moments. And we'll also have more on the escapees and services in regards to Lisa Hurley, who was killed in that, of course, tragic car crash on the Mountain Parkway earlier this week, and have a few updates for you on that. Also, I have a wonderful story from the Mountain Arts Center last night. A local artist, the subject or focus of her first solo art reception, and indeed the list goes on and on from there. I've got an important announcement. This goes out to anyone, and I mean anyone and everyone who has a Medicaid card. This is a very important heads up about a scam that is already circulating in some other states, and it's expected to start here if indeed it hasn't already in regards to the new Medicaid cards, which are coming out. There is a new Medicaid card coming out in April in just a few days, and there are some things that you may very well want to know should you get a call over the phone about those new cards. One thing is that Medicare will never call you over the phone. But these new cards are going to be sent out from April of this year through April of the next. We're talking about a full year of new cards to be sent out to recipients. Medicare has also been warned on several scams themselves. They do not charge for these cards, or do they want your personal information over the phone. However, you may get a call to the contrary. Starting on the first day of April, Medicare is going to start a year-long project to replace all current Medicare cards for beneficiaries. The purpose is they're going to change to alphanumeric ID numbers. Instead of using your Social Security number, they're going to give you an ID number. And this is starting to get out, and scammers are starting to already see opportunities. And first of all, the new Medicare card will come to you in the mail. You don't have to request it. You don't have to do anything. It will indeed just show up. So what is the scam? Well, someone from Medicare, as they're going to claim, may call you telling you that you're getting a new Medicare card, but until it comes, you will need a temporary card, and for that you'll have to pay some fee. $5, $10, $50 maybe, I don't know. And they'll want your personal information, bank account, credit card, so they can process your temporary card that does not exist. So remember, Medicare will never call you unless you ask them to. Medicare does all communications by mail unless you ask them to call, and that's ditto for anybody saying that they work with Medicare to make sure you get everything you are entitled to. not going to happen. So in order to protect yourself, educate yourself, tell those all you know, and of course use your answering machine to screen calls. It's always a good idea, and it's just, even today, I had a viewer stop me in Paintsville telling me the most recent scam. They got a phone call unrelated to this completely, but just a day or so ago from someone claiming to be their grandson wanting money, and they recognized the voice right away as not being someone that they knew, but it's just a never-ending pursuit to try to take advantage of so many people, and this time they're going to be taking advantage of anyone with a Medicaid card, or trying to at the very least. A couple of updates before we go on to our local headlines this evening. We'll begin with services still yet to be set, but we do have some new information in regards to services for Lisa Hurley as her mother continues to recover in a Lexington hospital. As for Hurley's mother, Debbie Hughes of Sagersville, she is continuing to improve at last report. In regards to the driver of the truck that caused the fatal accident when he made that illegal U-turn on the Mountain Parkway in front of Hurley's vehicle, no new information on him except to say that we're looking into and trying to find out any prior charges or previous history that may be indicative of what we saw with this accident as far as violations while driving in a commercial capacity, what have you. I've also learned that we believe that he was cited on that afternoon, but for what and to what extent we don't know. The investigation is ongoing, and authorities have still said nothing more than criminal charges may be pending at this hour, and that's all we have on that. In regards to Lisa Hurley, in lieu of, I've been told, her mother's recovery, there is going to be a celebration of life service set at a later date. No services in that capacity have been set as of this time, but there will be a celebration of life to be held at a later date, and that will be under the care and direction of the Sagersville Funeral Home. Of course, Hurley was the driver of that vehicle, of the SUV that struck the trailer of that large semi, causing her death, injuring her daughter, and then, of course, seriously, much more seriously injuring her mother, Debbie. And in another update, at last report, I did a follow-up just a short time ago. Still no word on the two prisoners that escaped from the garbage detail yesterday while under the direction of Johnson County Jailer Doug Saylor. The Johnson County Sheriff's Department issued a press release last night around the same time that I actually came to you with the report. I followed up on that today. They still say that two men are being sought for, 30-year-old Jeremy Reuben Boggs and 23-year-old Brian Edward Olson. Both men are from Sandy Hook. Both men were being kept in the Big Sandy jail on parole violations, and both men were part of a four-man garbage detail on 201 around the 5-mile marker when they escaped. The authorities say that they walked about 70 yards away southbound from the work detail that was being oversaw by Saylor, and then Saylor noticed they were gone and started walking south towards the Johnson County Road Department, and then he was unable to locate the inmates. He notified, of course, 911. They called authorities and a search began, but to no avail. They've not been spotted as of yet. We also know that Trooper Zach Haney responded to the scene and began a search of the area. It's believed the inmates may have gotten a ride from someone or had a vehicle waiting in the area. Warrants have been obtained charging Boggs and Olson with escape in the second degree, and they've been entered into NCIC. Kentucky Post 8, which covers Sandy Hook, has also been notified. Boggs is described as being 5'9", 165 in weight, with brown hair and hazel eyes. Olson as being around 5'8", weighing 198, with brown hair and brown eyes. He also has tattoos on both arms of his last name and a peace sign as well. If you have any information, you can contact the Johnson County Sheriff's Department at 789-3411. And you can stay with us just for a second. I'll be right back with our local headlines for this evening after these messages. Your best solution for diesel performance, upgrades, service, and repair is also a full-service repair center for all vehicles, gas or diesel, from routine service to major repairs, with a trusted auto body shop for minor dings to full-on restorations and rebuilds. Plus, get all your 4x4 accessories, lights, bumpers, winches, and more at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville. 349-8785. Wanting you to have a healthier life means providing access to quality, affordable health care. And to do exactly that, Hope Family Medical Center offers full dental care with Dr. Pratt and his team, a pediatrician team of 3 doctors and nurses and moms, complete health care by family physician Dr. Kelly Pratt and nurse practitioners Mildred Sizemore, Gail Faria, Shannon Connelly, and Heather Blair. Behavioral health services with Kimberly Davis, with in-house lab testing and results, in-house x-ray and pharmacy, and all the caring, knowledge, and experience that these medical professionals represent
at Hope Family Medical Center.
Hey everyone, my name's Tom Sager. I'm at Pop Chevrolet in Prestonsburg, Kentucky. We're running 3 or 4 weekly specials, and they are hot every single week. On everything, rebates on all new, we've discounted all pre-owned.
Like this brand new 2018 LT Z71, stickered for over $52,000, was $43,887. This week only $40,720. This new 2018 Impala LT was over $33,000. This week only $26,452. And you can drive off in this 2016 Camry for just $239 a month. This 2014 Cadillac ATS $229 a month, or this 2015 Chevy Colorado $259 a month. And for a complete list of this week's hottest specials, come see Tom Sager at Pop Chevrolet or check out their full-page ad in this week's Sagersville Independent.
I'm attorney Don McFarland. We all know that times are hard, jobs are scarce. I know are struggling to support their families and make it through each day. Now imagine that you get seriously hurt while working on the job, and the insurance company for your employer refuses to pay wages and benefits while you are injured and cannot afford to pay medical expenses, household bills, and put food on the table to support your family. I can help. If you are being wrongfully denied workers' compensation benefits that you rightfully deserve, then give me a call and let me go to work for you. 349-9000.
Appalachian Wireless says no contract, no credit check, no monthly bill. Well, no problem. Yes, Appalachian Wireless is at it again and proving why they are the region's best wireless provider by offering new forward pay pricing. A plan where you can bring in your own device and get 5 gigabytes of data for just $39.99 and unlimited data for just $79.99. Pay up front and get the data and features you want. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless. Some restrictions may apply. Activation fee is extra. See store for complete details. Unlimited data is loaded 25 gigabytes per month to 512 kilobits for phones and tablets.
As a math teacher in McGoffin County for over 28 years, as a member of Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union 155 for over 27 years, and as a lifelong resident who, like his family, has been dedicated to serving his community, its people, and its children, Jerry Patrick's professional and personal experiences make him uniquely qualified to be your PVA. Please vote and support Jerry L. Patrick, Democrat candidate for McGoffin County, PVA. Now to one of our top headlines for this evening. A woman's love for her pets may have contributed to a fire that completely gutted her home last night. I'll take you to the scene today of the fire that happened last evening on Route 40, about 4 miles out of Sagersville. And on top of that, the call was also a personal one for Sagersville Fire Chief Paul Howard and one of his paid men who responded.
It's my sister's resident, Nora Byer. It's on Falcon Road up here behind the National Oil Plant. About 9:30 last night, we received a call of for her resident. Ironic thing is her son is one of my paid firefighters, and he was on duty at the time of the fire. That's one of the hardest calls you ever get, that your family's property or life's in danger. So we responded to the fire, quickly extinguished it, but it was totally smoke and heat and water damage, totally destroyed. Started in the kitchen of her home, and we confined it to the kitchen and living room, but it's still totally destroyed.
As for the cause of the fire, Bauer knew what it was just as soon as it happened. She had actually heard a commotion with some of her outside dogs and went to check on them. And then when she came back inside, she did so just in time to save an inside pet and call 911.
She was fixing some supper or late meal, and she has a lot of dogs, and she heard them making a ruckus on the outside, and she went out to check on them, and she forgot to turn her stove off, and whenever she arrived back in, the kitchen was on fire.
From there, it's on to tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. Before we get to the rest of our top headlines, just a quick reminder, kindergarten registration starts Monday, goes to the end of the month at South McGoffin Elementary and at the Sayersville Grade School. Then it will start the following Monday to the end of the month at North McGoffin Elementary. And $500 mini grants to help fight the substance abuse problem that we have in McGoffin County are now available for your church, nonprofit, what have you. You can call to apply or find out more at the McGoffin County Board of Kentucky ASAP. Call Carolyn Isaac, 349-6212. And lastly, for announcements on the calendar, here's what I know. There is an Easter egg hunt set for this Sunday, 2 o'clock at the Ramey Park. Here's what I also know, is that I have no information otherwise. So as far as I know, it's still going to be held. The weather Sunday's not going to be bad. Well, it's not going to be worse than tomorrow. We're talking about a lot of precipitation, wet or white tomorrow. I'll tell you more about that in just a second. As for Sunday, we should hit close to 50 degrees, and any chances of precipitation should be before 8 o'clock that morning. So I think it should all work out hopefully beautifully. Maybe a little bit damp down there in the park, but nevertheless, as far as I know, they're still planning on having a major time at a major Easter egg hunt that's being sponsored by the Rainbow Girls, by the Masons, and by a host of other organizations. So look forward to that fun this Sunday at 2 in the Ramey Park. And I always look forward to your announcement being on the community calendar, and that goes for anyone you want to wish a happy birthday or happy anniversary to as well. Send the information to me any way you can. Going on to funeral service announcements, a service provided by our friends at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Luann Gibson Reed, 89, of Bloomington Loop in McGoffin County, passed away this week, preceded in death by her husband Roy and son Vervin. She's survived by sons Ransom Reed, Ansel Reed, and Irvin Reed, and daughters Dathel Lou Helton and Martha Ann Murphy. Visitation continues this evening at the Bethlehem to Calvary Apostolic Church. Services will be at the church tomorrow, beginning at 1. And today I've been told of the passing of Hortense Howard Williams, 94, of Lick Creek, who passed away on today's date. She was the wife of Judge Williams, who just preceded her in death a few short days ago. Arrangements are incomplete at this time and will be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. When hiring an attorney, experience does matter. For over 20 years, I've been representing clients throughout Kentucky. We are a full-service law firm, representing clients who've been injured in car accidents or at work, representing clients who need to file bankruptcy, representing clients who've been charged with a crime. For all your legal needs, contact my office when it matters. We have 2 locations for your convenience. In Sayersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
Catch the early spring specials before they're gone. A new shipment of mowers, push, rear, and all-wheel drive walk-behinds, trimmers, air compressors, power and hand tools, and more. Plus new shipments of guns and ammunition every week. And don't forget, they'll always loan you cash today on anything worth $1 at Parkway Gun and Pawn. They're rolling out big, beautiful truck bodies every day, the best America makes in steel and aluminum, with their largest ever local stock of angle, sheet, round, I-beam, expanded, steel, and aluminum in several different finishes for whatever you're working on. And if the dump body you're driving needs parts, they've got them in stock. And if you need a big project fabricated from scratch, they've got you covered at Logan in Salyersville since 1904. Take a look at the newest hand-picked specials just in at Gateway Motors in Salyersville. This 2011 Veracruz has everything, nav, leather, third row, and it's thousands below book at $99.95. This 2011 Kia Sorento all-wheel drive, $10.9. This 2011 Chevy Traverse all-wheel drive, $11.9. This super sporty 07 Maxima, $69.95. And this 07 F-150 4x4 in great shape, $99.95. While they last at Gateway Motors in Salyersville. It's not just jewelry, it's a movement. Handmade bracelets by Little Words. Pick one with a word that resonates with you or reminds you of someone who might need a little love, a word to encourage or uplift, or wear one that inspires you and pass it on. The little are a culture of kindness among women, young and old. Pick out one that you think will inspire someone you know, or pick one for yourself and see the happiness spread when you give it to someone who may need the same reminder you did. Available now at the Seasonal Shop in Salyersville. A Salyersville artist has held her first solo art reception last night, and that's where we're going to go now. And many of you may recognize her. She's been a focal point of the show before. And local artist Brooke Lemesser was the focal point of the show last night at the MAC. She opened the Art Bar in Salyersville many months ago, a popular venue showcasing the works of area artists and her own. It's also a venue that offers budding, aspiring, or even accomplished artists the opportunity to learn and create during the many weekly fun, entertaining classes that they offer. But she herself was the artist last night, showcased at the Mountain Art Center for her collection titled Photographs, A Life Between Water and Color. Friends, family, and lovers of art all enjoyed the atmosphere created in part by Messer's deep love of family and family portraits.
And what inspired it is everyone's grandma's wall is just covered in pictures. You know, it's various different frames, different photographs of old family members, varying from super old pictures to newer pictures of newer grandkids and things like that. And that's kind of what inspired this show. It's, you know, my family is a huge part of my life, and I have a very big family, and we're very close, closer than most. And I think that, you know, showcasing the family photograph and the family, you know, photo book and keeping that alive is really important, because after somebody's gone, that's all they have left is memories and pictures.
Messer's works are a loving expression of family, with works ranging from colorful and fun to emotional works that leave the viewer with a sense of melancholy, a happy medium of whimsy and nostalgia. And this current exhibit will be on display at the MAC through the month of March.
I just think it's super important to make sure that, you know, the photograph is still there, because now we just have, you know, digital files, but it's not the same. You're not getting the same thing as looking through a photo book and finding surprising images that you didn't know were there, or you know, holding them in your hand. They're all on the computer, and everything's on the computer now. So it's, I think, being able to come and see something like this and knowing that it's real, you know, and knowing like you can hold it and grab it and see it, and like even back then, you know, they would have one picture of something, a tintype or whatever, and that was special. It was unique because that's the only one they had, and if they lost that picture, that was it. So I think that's super important. I mean, to keep going, because pictures have always been a lot to me, but especially family pictures, because I just think it's something that needs to continue.
And by the way, continuing to the end of this month at the Art Bar, the works of Dylan Baldwin, which we showcased a few days ago. And in April, Big Arts in Little Appalachia, works of children up to 18 years of age. And I also need to thank and pay recognition to our in-house artist here at the Independent, Aaron Elise Conley, for filming and attending last night's show. I'll be right back. We're going to wrap it up with your weather and another headline right after a message or two. Stay tuned. Conley's does oil and fluid changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, and more. They've got thousands of tires in stock every day, and they won't be undersold on any tire they sell. They've got 6 months same as cash and over 37 years of service to the viewing area. With no appointment necessary, or you can call 297-2424. Spring is finally here. Things are growing, things are blooming, things are turning green, and some pollens are already at moderate levels, and the rest of the over 200 out there are surely quick to follow. Don't get down and out this spring. Get ahead of pollen with everything you need at Parkway Pharmacy in Salyersville.
Hello, friends and neighbors. I am running for sheriff because I want to work hard to make our streets, schools, and homes safer. I am a certified police officer and a graduate of the Department of Criminal Justice. I will put my training and experience to work for our county, and I will work hand in hand with all other agencies. As a parent and officer, I know our kids are the most important resource, and I will do my very best to protect them and continue to tackle our drug problem. But I need your help. Please vote and elect Michael Nichols for sheriff, number 4 on the ballot. Thank you, and God bless.
They call it the Fiver, the 5 spot, names for a $5 bill. And now you can add a new one. Best lunch deal ever. Because every weekday during lunch at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe, for a total of $5, that's $5 taxes and all, you can get our famous chicken sandwich or 2 of our famous chicken biscuits with potato wedges and a drink, or our steak sandwich or 2 steak biscuits with wedges and a drink, or our famous foot-long hot dog with homemade chili, wedges and a drink. For $5. That's 5 deliciously awesome deals for only $5. Every weekday from 11 to 2 at your Sagersville Lee's. Your single largest investment in life is most always your home. And whether they're necessary or optional, a weekend project or a major renovation, we can help finance your home improvements and make your vision a reality. Spring is almost here, so it's time to get ready, get set, and improve with Sagersville National Bank. Call or drop by the main or branch locations today. I couldn't help but think to myself that it's certainly not something that anyone would have wanted to have seen happen, but at the same time, it is something that should send a very strong message to other young people out there after a rash of such incidents and threats and things of that nature over the course of the past several weeks, which have finally started to wane in number. And nevertheless, 2 teenagers from Jessamine County have been indicted on federal charges and face up to 5 years in prison and $250,000 in fines. Yeah, it's not local news, obviously, but I really ran it just for that point, to send a message to any young people out there after a federal grand jury considered the evidence and the facts and then indicted these 2 19-year-olds after they used another teenager's picture on social media in an effort to threaten a school system. 19-year-old Tristan Kelly and 19-year-old Cody Ritchie of Jessamine County both were indicted on a charge related to spreading false information through social media. And they were also indicted for harassment and intimidation through social media as well. They took a picture of a boy, or used a picture of a boy with a handgun, and then put text under it saying that they, quote, or that people should, quote, be ready for school Monday, Jessamine County. Now, there were no classes scheduled on that day, which was a holiday, but it widely made its way around social media as well. Police investigated. They determined the one teenager whose picture was used to not be a part of the entire incident, but these 2 were behind it and have since been officially indicted. And the penalties are imprisonment of up to 5 years in prison, as I said, no more than $250,000 in fine on each of the 2 counts they face. One more thing before we go on to your forecast and say goodnight, and that is an announcement about an event tomorrow at the Magoffin County Senior Citizen Center. They've been doing this now for a while. They're doing it to give back to our veterans. And tomorrow from 10 o'clock until they just can't stay any longer, which is how long you were invited to stay, at the Senior Citizen Center, they are partnering with the Big Sandy Elder Maltreatment Council. They're making lap quilts for the veterans of the Eastern Kentucky Veterans Center in Hazard. They're furnishing all the materials. They just need you to furnish some of your time. A great opportunity to give back to a veteran who has served our wonderful country. So if you've got a few skills and or a little time, you can share them at the Senior Citizens tomorrow in Magoffin County Senior Citizen Center beginning at 10 o'clock in the morning. You can even show up a little late and stay, I'm sure, as well. Well, coming late tonight and mostly tomorrow, snow that may add up to the tune of a couple of inches for some Eastern Kentuckians. A winter storm warning in the pink. We are in a winter weather advisory here in Johnson and Magoffin counties. Morgan in the warning area, with one way or the other, everyone getting in on heavy precipitation. Will it be wet? Will it be white? Will it be both? It's a very fine line. A mile or two one way or the other will determine how much we see. Definitely to the northeast, much more snowfall, heavy snow, several accumulating inches likely for us. We're going to call it 1 to 3 right now in the latest update from the National Weather Service. Computer models also supporting that pretty well right now. As for tonight's conditions, a low of 34. We'll just see increasing clouds tonight out and ahead of this rain and snow. As we're seeing it tonight, really after 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3, 4 or so in the morning, a slight chance of some rain, and then we'll have a chance of rain and snow. Rain and snow likely before 8, then snow likely tomorrow morning for a couple of hours, and then some rain in the middle. It's going to be back and forth. We're going to hover right around 36 degrees, 34 tonight to 36 tomorrow. We see a little fluctuation in that. We see a little bit of movement in this track, and we could see a little movement in the measuring stick, the yardstick that you won't need a yardstick, but you get my drift. 1 to 3 inches is where we're going to stand right now. Nighttime lows still staying right at freezing tomorrow night. So it's going to be another one of those big, heavy, wet snows for anyone that sees it. For those of us who don't, it's just going to be a rain event. Could be a good one. It could be flooding. It could be snow. Keep your eye on this developing system as it rolls through tonight, late tonight, into your tomorrow, and then it continues a little bit into your Sunday as well, with chance of rain and snow before 8, lingering to about 10 or so. It will just be mostly cloudy thereafter. I do have mostly sunny there in the forecast instead. We might even see a little sunshine on Sunday. My apologies, in the mix throughout all of that. And then mostly cloudy skies Sunday night. It should give way to, I think, mostly a dry start at least to your work week. Monday looks to be around 56, partly sunny. Late Monday night, a 20% chance of showers out and ahead of another system that rolls in Tuesday. 60 cloudy showers Tuesday and Wednesday, and maybe even thereafter. I think Thursday showers are likely. Friday showers are likely of next week. And there's a pattern here. And that is it. That is a wrap for this evening, with one more week of the month of March to go. We'll kick that off on Monday and hope to see you here then. Thank you and have a great weekend.